American Metal Reviews.
Alright, so I'm here to review the Xbox 360 version of Titanfall, because that's the version I own, and I have not played the PC or the Xbox One version, so I don't know if there's any differences, but at least at face value, they seem kind of similar. So if you've lived under a rock since E3 last year, Titanfall's the first-person shooter game that incorporates wall running, similar to Mirror's Edge, and has Titans, which are basically mechs that run around in it. The game is made by Respawn, which is founded by two guys who were originally a part of Infinity Ward. You know, they make Call of Duty, and their last game was they played Modern Warfare 2, and then they left the company, and so the game's being published right now by EA. So my first impressions of this game was when I first put it in, this game plays so smooth, and it's really like how you can just transition from wall running to getting into Titan to getting out of the Titan, from everything. It just all flows really, really nicely. I feel like more so than like a lot of first-person shooters that I've played. And it also, the controls are just so familiar. I mean, you know, these guys made Call of Duty. When you make Call of Duty games for a long time, you know, that's gonna, you know, come off in it. And so, and honestly, how many different ways can you make a first-person shooter? But it does play a lot like Call of Duty. So that familiarity allowed me to kind of jumpstart my, at least initial playthroughs of this game. The game's itself is 6v6, but there are a bunch of grunts, which are grunts and specters that litter the map, and I'm not gonna lie, they're not the brightest. The grunts have low AI intelligence. They sometimes won't notice you're there until you're literally right in front of them or right behind them. So it's kind of bad. I wish that maybe they were a little bit more smart. But I mean, I guess for what the game's trying to provide an experience, it makes sense. Now, like weapons, I'll keep talking about the pilots before I talk about the Titans. There's not that many weapons, and again, that's a good thing, and that's a little bit of a bad thing. The good thing is that it makes a distinction between each weapon type. You know, there's the smart pistol, there's one shotgun, there's one LMG, I believe there's two sniper rifles, I believe there's one SMG, and then one or two SMGs, and the rest of them are assault rifles. So, you know, each gun kind of serves a purpose, and that's pretty cool because, you know, it's not like, whereas, to put a really good example, if you're playing Modern Warfare 2, why the hell would you use the F-2000 in that game? You know, there's a lot of guns that it's like, I don't understand why you would use this gun, you know. I'm trying to think of other guns from you know, Call of Duty, you know. The Enfield from Black Ops, that's a very forgettable gun, you know. A lot of the guns in, you know, Ghosts are kind of forgettable, but, you know, like, and that's good. But then the bad thing is you lose a little bit of that sense of personalization, whereas if they had a lot of guns, you could be like, oh, I want an LMG, but maybe one with a little bit more range. And so then you have to sacrifice something, you know. You lose that. But I guess that's not the biggest thing that you could miss out on. But all in all, you know, the lack of guns is kind of a good thing. They have things like perks in this game which portray to all the playstyles. If you're going to be more of just a, I'm going to fight Titans guy, you're going to be all anti-Titan, you know, you can get perks for that. If you're going to do a lot of wall running, you know, there's perks for that. And then, you know, you get an anti-Titan weapon, which can be like a rocket launcher or a heavy machine gun. And so, like, the whole customization is really, really cool. You know, probably the best weapon in the game, or at least the most fun weapon that I have fun using, is the smart pistol. You know, all you have to do is get close enough to somebody, and you can lock onto them and shoot them. I mean, you have to at least get 3 lock-ons to kill him, but it's a cool. Nobody's done something like that. It's its own original, unique thing. And then other thing is you get burn cards. Burn cards are almost like kill streaks, except without being actual kills. You get them from leveling up and completing challenges, and it's like, oh, I want to have like radar pulses so I can see through walls and see any enemies in the immediate area. You can put that on, and it'll last a life. I want all the grunts around me to kill for me, and all their kills count for my kills. You can do that. That's a really cool part of it. And so, burn cards are really cool. I haven't dived too much into them, but you can get like a certain weapon from a burn card. Like with that life, you get this burn card. You get this weapon, or you get a certain perk, or so something happens, and it's really cool. Now on to also I'll talk about the free running. The free running's cool, like I said, because it's so smooth. But then you can shoot while you're running, and so right now I use what's called the bumper jumper setup, where I can run and shoot at the same time. But you can run alongside walls. You can double jump. Double jumping becomes really useful when you're eject from a Titan, because then if you get killed by another Titan, you can double jump and time it and land on the enemy Titan. Which, landing on an allied Titan and an enemy Titan are both it's cool. Landing on an enemy Titan, you can shoot it directly. Like if you were to shoot it from the front, a Titan, you have to worry about its shields. Whereas if you it's called rodeoing. If you rodeo it, you can just attack its core directly and just take out its health without even worrying about its shields. And then you can also ride on top of friendly Titans, but you're restricted in camera movement. It's so hard to do. Like, unless you're using the smart pistol, I don't know how somebody could rodeo a friendly Titan. Maybe using the archer, the heavy rocket archer launcher. That could maybe be it, but I don't know. There's a lot of really cool things, and so with the Titans, there's 3 main Titans, in which they are the Atlas, the Ogre, and the Strider. Which the Ogre is the big tank, the Atlas is in the middle, and the Strider is the nimble, quick guy. And the Titans all play very well. This is probably my favorite part of the game. It's that they're kind of kill streaks, but they're not at the same time. After you get your first kill in a match, it starts a 2-minute countdown to when you can get your Titan. And so then, literally, if you do nothing, you don't do anything after that, your first kill, you will get a Titan in 2 minutes. You are guaranteed a Titan. But if you get kills, it'll just take 15 seconds off your time with every kill you get. And I just think that's cool. Like, so it's very balanced. You get all kinds of free stuff. None of the grunts get Titans, which is also, I think, a really good thing, because I don't know how dumb those Titans would be. Because even the AI Titans are kind of dumb. And because you can set your Titan into guard mode or follow mode. Guard mode, you could put it at a flag if you're playing hardpoint, and it'll just stand there and attack anything that comes near. Follow mode, it'll follow you around, as the name says, and they're semi-useful for that. I mean, they're not like I said, you're not gonna get as many kills as if you were piloting, but it's that's really a really cool feature. You can get all kinds of the cool Titan perks too. One of the Titan perks is nuclear ejection, which is when you eject out, its reactor blows up and it kills everything in the immediate radius, and I just think that's really, really cool. You can there's as much customization with the Titans as there is the pilots. You can get rockets, like heat-seeking rockets. You can get your main weapon could be like a cannon or a heavy machine gun or a semi-automatic rifle, or the Titan equivalents of those. And then you can get like the vortex shield, which is the one that everybody knows of, where you can catch enemy bullets and throw it back at them. There's an achievement for shooting somebody. They catch your rounds with the vortex. They throw it back at you, and then you catch it. I think that's that's a cool perk thing. You can also kill people by dropping your Titan on them. That's another achievement in the game. But Another couple of the things you can get also just a, I'm not sure, just a shield that you can just plop on the ground. And then there's the Titans, again, there's all kinds of stuff that you can get. One of the cool things is each Titan has their own damage core, I think is what they're called, abilities, where if you use the Ogre, your core ability is that when you take a lot of damage, when you lose all your shields, you reroute the power and you do more damage. With the Strider, I think you can move faster, and with Atlas, it makes your shields more powerful. And so, that's really cool, that if you somehow manage to stick with your Titan, even after he starts to get messed up, then you can get a bonus. Now on to some of the other aspects. The maps are very cool, I think. The maps are vertical, and I really like that there's, literally, I think there's 4 or 5 entrances into every building. And, they're really taking control of this free running ability that they put in the game. They could just say, oh, you can free run, and then it's it's just something that you can kind of do in the game. Free running is almost a necessity playing this game, and I feel like that's what excites me about this game more so than the Titans, is the free running. The free running is so awesome. This game could not have Titans, and I would still probably get it because free run shooting is cool. And then the game modes themselves, there's not that many. There's Attrition, which is basically team deathmatch. There's Last Titan Standing, which I don't like, because everybody starts off in a Titan, and it's a free-for-all game, and then whoever's in their Titan last wins. And I don't know, that just doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me want to play it. There's Capture the Flag, which is pretty self-explanatory. Hardpoint, which is a lot like Domination in Call of Duty, except it has elements of Conquest from Battlefield 4, where if an enemy captures a point, you have to neutralize it, and then you capture it. So it adds more time, and then that's that game mode. And then there's Pilot Hunter, which is basically Attrition, except I think only pilot kills count. Your kills towards grunts and enemy players, or I know definitely enemy players, but maybe grunts. Those are the only ones that count. You can kill as many Titans as you want, and it doesn't matter. So there's not that many game modes, but there is, I think they said 15 maps, and that's pretty cool. Just because, for a multiplayer game, I don't think there needs to be much more. When you start having 20 different game modes and they're all just slight variations of each other, I don't see much benefit in that. Yeah, like Call of Duty, where you can play the same game mode 4 or 5 different ways. And then I guess the last thing, which is probably the thing that leaves the sour taste in my mouth with this game, is the campaign. The campaign, basically, you just you go in, and it's a separate lobby, and you play a certain game type on a certain map, and then that's it. Literally, the only difference between that and a normal multiplayer mode is that there are people popping up on the screen that are talking to you, like a video chat, and there's extra dialogue going on. And honestly, it doesn't work. I sit there and they're trying to talk to me while I'm doing things, and I'm like, I'm playing. Don't talk to me right now. I'm not paying attention. So even though I'm trying to play the story, because you unlock the other 2 Titans by beating the story, I don't know what's going on, at all. So they could have done this a lot better. I like the idea of maybe going ambitious with a multiplayer-based campaign, but I think it would have been, they could have done it so much better if they would have just said, for one thing, if they would have just put it in the lobby and say, play this game type, and then, boom, that'll be the next campaign mission, or stuff like that. Or, and when you look at this, they could have easily had an epic single-player campaign with this game. Just really cool, explaining everything, and it would have been awesome, I feel. But I guess they were trying to be different. I can understand. After a while, there's only so much you can do in a first-person shooter campaign, If only Call of Duty would realize that. But, the other thing is, naturally, I would think if it was a multiplayer campaign, that it would be all about how you do things. Like, if you lose a match, that changes how the story goes. If you win a match, it changes how the story goes. They didn't do that. It's no matter what, even if you win or lose a match, if you're supposed to win or lose a match, you will, even if you technically win or lose. And I'm like, I don't know. That just doesn't fly well. It's flawed. That leaves the worst taste in my mouth. Is that aspect of it, of the campaign. I've only ever played a little bit of the campaign. It doesn't excite me at all. Like I said, I'm doing it literally just to get the extra Titans. But all in all, experience of it so far. Is it the greatest game ever? No. Is it a system seller? No. If you don't already have an Xbox One or an Xbox 360, don't go out and buy one just to get this game. But if you happen to have, if you bought an Xbox One because you wanted to play Dead Rising 3, or you still have your old 360, then get this game. I would say yes, definitely get this game. But it's not worth dropping $500 just to play this game. There are very few games that I actually feel, there are very few singular games that I would feel are worth that. But what I think this game is, and I think definitely Titanfall 2 will, but just because this is an Xbox exclusive, I don't think it is now. I feel like this game would be the game that sets the bar for this generation. I feel like it already is too. When you go back 2 generations ago, to, the Xbox and the PS2 and the GameCube, Halo was the bar setter. You had to do what Halo did in order to be a good first-person shooter. Actually, at that point, first-person shooter as a multiplayer genre really didn't exist, at least on consoles. So Halo was the bar. And then you go to the Xbox 360, and you look at Call of Duty, specifically Call of Duty 4, set the bar for what you had to do with an online multiplayer. And I feel like this game kind of does it, but definitely especially if the second one is cross-platform, it will be, I feel like this game would be the bar setter for this generation. It's that new thing. I almost feel as though from any new shooters that come out from this point on, you have to have free running. Like, I don't know, the way people were all over that at E3 and how actual fun it is when you play the game, you have to. I honestly, I could almost see myself getting bored with any new FPSs that don't have that. Now, if it makes sense not to have it, sure, but I can definitely see that happening. So, like, it's a good game. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it a solid 8.75 out of 10. There are some things that are wrong with it, and the fact that it's only on Xbox, Microsoft-related platforms, is a little bit of a bummer. But it is a very fun game. I have not regretted spending $60 on this game. Some people would say that, there's not enough content, but when you buy the new Call of Duty, are you buying it because of the single player, or are you buying it because of the multiplayer? And a lot of people would say, well, I got it for the multiplayer. So, that's the same thing with this. They just cut out the added weight of a single player. So, great game. Like I said, if you have an Xbox One or 360, or if you're part of the PC Master Race, definitely pick this game up. It is worth it. It's $4.20, so you should definitely blaze it.